Hello, and welcome back to part two of today's lesson. So it cut me off, the last video sort of cut me off, and I didn't get to tell you to add the back of the stage. So this is the where the stage floor right here meets the very back wall of the theater, of the stage. So again, this isn't part of your set design, this is just the back wall of the theater where the floor meets the back wall, okay? And I drew that at 2 inches. 2 inches up from my chalk line, which the chalk line is when we very first made the floor of our stage and then drew our proscenium. The chalk line is right there. So if you were up here at the very top of your proscenium and you dropped a piece of chalk or a pen or something that doesn't bounce, where it landed would be the chalk line. So it's from the walls, where the walls are across the stage in a straight line. That's the chalk line. Now it doesn't actually exist. So I'm going to erase the chalk line because it doesn't actually exist. It was just a guiding line for our rendering. And also anything in front of the chalk line, like towards the audience, is the apron. Anything behind is the actual stage area. Generally speaking, we don't put any set or scenery too far out on the apron because it's so close to the audience that they can't see anything else behind it. So here's the updated picture. The chalk line is erased, and instead we have the back, the line for the back of the stage right there. Okay. So now we are designing our walls for our set design. This is going to be very simple. It's going to be a box set, meaning that nothing moves. The walls are permanent and sort of in the shape of 3 sides of a box. We're going to have them start just a little ways in from our proscenium walls. So just a little ways in. I'm just going to make sure that it's even on both sides. So I'm going to make it 1/4 of an inch in right on the chalk line from each of the proscenium walls. There we go. And where that center line, that very light center line running through for center stage meets the back wall, we're just going to put a horizon line. So I'm just going to put a dot right there. You see the dot? Right there. And that is going to be where our perspective comes into play. All lines that aren't straight across the set this way and are not straight up and down are going to go towards that vanishing point right here. So my wall, my side wall, I'm going to make it let's see. I'm going to make it let's do 2.5 inches long to right here. And I'm drawing that by placing the one part of my ruler where I've made that line, that little mark 1/4 inch from the side of my proscenium on the chalk line, and laying the ruler against my horizon line and vanishing point in the center. So my ruler is against the center mark and where I said I wanted my wall to start. And I've just drawn a 2-inch line there. Let me darken that for you guys. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other line. I'm going to put part of my ruler, I'm going to put one edge one part of the edge of my ruler right where I said I wanted that wall to start, and the other one I'm leaning right up against that vanishing point, which is in the middle right here. And again, I'm just going to draw a 2-inch long line. Make it very dark. Okay. So there's my 2 lines for the bottom of those walls. And then I'm going to connect them. Oh, I did 2.5 on this side, didn't I? 2.5. So this side I need to make 2.5. That's easy to do. Just bring it out another 1/2 inch. Not a big deal. All right, and now I'm going to connect them to make my back wall, the bottom of my back wall, and it goes straight across from there to there. Now it looks like that. Okay, so those are the bottom of my walls. Next step, I'm going to come in with my handy dandy right angle. I'm going to put that on my chalk line that I can still see. Because I drew it really dark before I erased it. And I'm going to draw first a very light line. On where it connects to the very edge of this wall. And a very light line. Still using that chalk line that I can still see. I'm going to draw another light line at each of the corners of my bottom edge of my set that I just drew. All right. I don't know if you can see these lines because they're very light, but they come up from every corner of the bottom of the set that I just did. Now what we're going to do is decide where the top of our set is. We are going to need stairs sort of leading up, so that means that there's like another level, right, to this house. So we do want fairly tall walls. So I'm going to say, I think this tall is pretty good. If we were doing this to scale, it would be a, let's see, 10, 11, about an 11.5 foot tall wall. That is plenty tall. So that's fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this line really dark so that you guys can see it. Okay. And now the top of our wall, we're going to have to go from our vanishing point in the center again. So we're going to take our pencil and we're going to put it at the very top of that wall and put the ruler against the vanishing point and draw our line to this vertical line that we've made. So now this is what it looks like. Okay, you can see the top right there. We're going to make sure that this side is the same height as this side, so I'm going to measure what I've done over here. I have my measurement. I'm going to take it over here and make sure this wall is the same height. Make a little mark where I need that wall to end. Make this line much darker so you all can see it. And then do the same thing from this side. putting my pencil at the very top of that wall, resting the edge of the ruler against the vanishing point, and drawing that line. And now I know that these two lines here have to be the same height because we started out with the same height on the side and we went to the same vanishing point. So I don't even have to measure. I'm just going to draw the back wall like this. And then I'm going to make the corner lines that I drew earlier that were very light. I'm going to darken them. And erase the part that I don't need above the wall. Great. And here's how that looks. So here's how to make the 3 walls of your box set. Hopefully you're starting to be able to see how they come together a little bit more now. So here's a wall. Here, there's the back wall of the set, and here's the stage left wall. So, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about how to draw the walls, please let me know. Keep in tuned for the next video on doors, windows, archways, picture frames.